My first book about the poor Christ and a rich church was released in 1980. It regarded the human situation in a more macro light. This latest of my books, a convenient pocket-sized book that came out in 2007, Contemplation 365, Devotional Readings for the Spiritual Life, is a consideration of things on a very intimate and micro level. As early as I can remember, certain from my mid-teens, I recognized a low-grade, persistent, and unrelenting malaise, a feeling of uneasiness in my life, which I later came to regard as a reacting, depressive side of my personality. Now, all of us are addicted, or we have some disease of one sort or another. In my case, I realized that reactivity depression was one of the things I had suffered from for many years. And this book is one way of sharing the sad, lonely, often painful, yet ultimately redemptive story with and against a struggle with this particular type of non-clinical or non-endogenous depression. That is, a kind of depression that one does not necessarily have to be treated for with medication. I was determined to fight the depressive reactive disorder with its many adverse psychophysical cousins and cause that is depression to work in my favor rather than against me. In the first instance, I did this by rising methodically every morning, consistently, at 4:30 on the button, and armed with a generous array of biblical material, readings of ancient and contemporary aesthetics, other valued devotional readings, contemplative prayer, and a wide variety of stories, inspirational stories, and of course the greatest of books, the Bible itself. I use this time to recharge, as it were, my emotional and intellectual and physical batteries for the day. In other words, I use a disciplined devotional life to have a counterbalance against depression. Many of these resources, that is the resources I used in those early morning devotionals, are reflected in this little miniature booklet, so designed that you can put it in your purse or your pocket and walk around with it virtually unnoticed. I've come now to embrace a certainty that when we're encased in what I call contemplative serenity, and that's why it's called contemplation, even in the ups and downs of life, we become self-contained, whole human beings with greater self-confidence and a genuine, what I call creative humility to overcome any difficulty that faces us in life. It's probably my most treasured little book because it invests so much of my very internal life in it. Though this is a practical way that religion, or if you wish, spirituality, can be used to fight a wide array of emotional challenges, be it anger, anxiety, depression, you name it. It's where the tire hits the road. And it also brings out the sure knowledge that many of us hold, and we see it when we use our devotional life to help us with our everyday experiences. It is that Jesus saves.